You know, I think we're due for a sleepover. I think that it's been a minute and a half, and if there's any video that I want to kick off my 25th year with, it's a little girl talk sleepover Q&A moment. Let's have a slumber party. So I'm freshly 25. I'm filming this a mere days after my birthday, and a fun fact about me is that the theme of my birthday every year is always early 2000s sleepover. It's been that way since like halfway through college, and now I just do it every single year because there's truly nothing I love more than sitting at home in my pajamas, drinking wine and talking shit and listening to early 2000s pop music. What else do I love more than that? Nothing. And by talking shit, I mean anything from talking about internet drama to exposing the inner workings of my heart and soul. So talking shit can sort of mean whatever you want it to mean. I asked on Instagram a few weeks ago for you guys to submit any slumber party-esque questions that you had, any topics for us to talk about, and you guys did not disappoint. So feel free to grab a snack, grab a glass of wine, settle in, get on your PJs, and just hang out with me for a little bit. Before we get into the questions that you guys submitted, it's time to introduce today's sponsor, which is our friends over at Dipsea. It is time to seek out pleasure in all areas of your life. I actually just bought Dipsea merch the other day because I'm a full-on fucking stan these days. And the sweatshirt is this beautiful blue-green color. I'll insert a photo of it, but it says hedonism is healthy on the back. And that's the vibe that we're taking into 2022. We're indulging in pleasure, in self-pleasure as often as we fucking want to. And honestly, if you're asking me, I want to a lot. You can't stop me, bitch. God, I live alone. Who's controlling me? If you're unfamiliar, Dipsea is an audio app full of short, sexy stories designed to turn you on. If you have not listened to audio erotica yet, guys, I'm telling you, it's changing the game for me. And as we all know, I like to spice up my masturbation rituals, practices. I like to try out new things, keep things spicy and interesting, even with my relationship with myself. And Dipsea Stories makes that so easy. All you have to do is just close your eyes, let yourself indulge in the story, and totally just give in to your own pleasure and explore what turns you on in a really safe and shame-free way. On Dipsea, there's hundreds of stories to choose from, and they're constantly adding more content, so there's always going to be a new story for you to indulge in. And lucky for all of us, for viewers of my channel, Dipsea is offering a free extended 30-day trial for everyone who signs up for Dipsea using my link, which is dipseastories.com/partylikeMaddie. That's 30 days of free access when you go to dipseastories.com/partylikeMaddie. That's DIPSEA stories.com/partylikeMaddie. You guys are not going to want to miss out on this. If you haven't gotten on the erotic audiobook train, now's your chance. All right, let's kick this off with an easy one. What do you think is the sexiest body part? Easy. Don't even need to think about it. It's thighs. Thighs are without a doubt, thighs. Nothing else. I think thighs are sexy on everyone. I think that thighs are an underrated body part. And I feel like maybe that comes from my relationship with my own body. I feel like my thighs were a body part that always felt easy to love. I remember growing up, like, people used to be really stressed out about their thighs spilling over the sides of their chairs in school. Because if you have big thighs and you sit down, obviously they spill over. I never gave a shit about that. I thought it was hot having big thighs, and obviously they're kind of a nuisance at times with chafing and shit, but like, what's hotter than a big thigh? Nothing, right? I want everyone with big thighs to choke me the fuck out. How do I ask a guy to be more committed/caring without sounding needy? I saw this question and I'm like, we have to talk about this right now because we're about to snap right out of that mindset. We're going to flip this question right on its head because it does not make you needy to be looking for communication and care from someone that you're looking to build a partnership with. But I've talked a lot in my videos about how I've struggled with worrying that I'm too much and being afraid to really ask for what I want in a connection out of fear of being rejected and of them just thinking that I was too needy, too emotional, too sensitive, and like too overwhelming to want to be with me just because I asked for communication. And I think this is something that a lot of young women feel because It's really tough to like reckon with that when you've been taught that basic communication makes you needy or too much in a bad way, to the point where people won't want to be with you. I feel like young women are taught from a young age to really suppress their need for like genuine love and care, because they are too much if they ask for that, and that's really upsetting. To mention, I think that by framing it that way, you are valuing what they think and how they feel over what you think and how you feel. You're trying to massage the way that you're speaking, perfect your speech in such a way that you don't offend them so that you get what you want out of them, but that's not gonna happen. Take a step back and focus more on what you want, what you need, and communicate that. Stop worrying how they're gonna react or how you can perfect the way you say it to get the most optimal response. If you're dating someone who's gonna think it's needy for you to say that you want more communication, you shouldn't be with that person. And this is why I really can't stand that there's a growing group of dating creators and dating podcasts that love to push this like manipulation formula as being, in some universe, successful for getting you the relationship that you want. So much of dating advice on TikTok is like, suppress your needs, wants, and desires, and that'll make a man want you. Pretend like you need absolutely nothing, and maybe then he'll treat you like a person. Like, are we hearing ourselves? Are we all hearing it? Okay? Because I don't know that we are. You need what you need at the end of the day, right? There's no good or bad there. It's just what you need in order to feel secure in a relationship. Don't feel bad for knowing what you need. The fact that you know that you want more communication and care out of your partner is amazing. And all you can do is show up for yourself and communicate that that's what you need, and how they react to that is not on you. But don't rack your brain trying to figure out how can you say this without seeming too needy. It's not needy. And if they're gonna use words like that to describe you showing up honestly and maturely to try to progress a relationship, then they are not mature enough to be in a relationship with you. And now you know. Who's your celebrity crush right now? I haven't thought about a celebrity crush in fucking years. Let's backtrack, right? Let's think about all of my old celebrity crushes. First celebrity crush ever. This doesn't count because this is a cartoon, but the lead guy in the Gangrene Gang and Powerpuff Girls, dumb sexy. That was probably my first crush as like a wee baby, talking like preschool, kindergarten Maddie. She thought he was doing something, and he was, to be honest. He was. I wasn't wrong. I probably had celebrity crushes on everybody that everyone else had celebrity crushes on. Demi Lovato, Zac Efron, Miley Cyrus, the guy who played the blondie in Sunny with a Chance. Joe Jonas, maybe, was never a Nick girl. And then when I was in like 6th grade, I was shown, I want to say it was Tom Sawyer, and Jonathan Taylor Thomas played Tom Sawyer. And at this point, Jonathan Taylor Thomas had already like disappeared from the public eye for years. I mean, Jonathan Taylor Thomas was big in the 90s. I was way too young to appreciate Jonathan Taylor Thomas when Jonathan Taylor Thomas was Jonathan Taylor Thomas. But in 6th grade, I was shown Tom Sawyer. Jonathan Taylor Thomas was Tom Sawyer. I developed an obsession with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. So I was obsessing over the version of Jonathan Taylor Thomas that at that point was like 10 years in the past. And so I had all of these young photos of Jonathan Taylor Thomas as my laptop background, as my phone background. I had them printed out and like put in the clear slip of my binder at school. Oh my God. I like went through and watched every movie and TV show he was a part of. I was out here like watching Home Improvement for fun, as if that show doesn't suck cheeks. I had a mild Bieber phase. I was never a big Bieber girl, but I for sure had my moments where I was looking out the window, lip syncing in the car mirror to One Less Lonely Girl. You know, I'm sure it happened. It was there. I at some point also believed that maybe Justin Bieber would want to be with me. That is a rite of passage as a preteen in the year 2008. Okay. We all had to do it at some point. After that, I had a lot of YouTube crushes. If you were a man who made music videos in the years 2009 to 2011. I had a crush on you at some point. And then there was a Zayn Malik. And Zayn Malik ruled my life for all of high school. I feel like after Zayn, like when Zayn left One Direction, my One Direction phase was over. And I don't think I've really had a celebrity crush since then, which I suppose makes sense because timeline-wise, Zayn left One Direction when I was like 16 or 17. Makes sense that celebrity crushes are not at the forefront of my brain anymore, but I mean, we all know that I live, breathe, and die for Lady Gaga. Gaga is a permanent and forever celebrity crush, but she's also like the person I admire most in the world. So it's hard for me to call Gaga a crush because I just think that she's like a god. I'm not saying them out loud because this feels like I can't, but there are a lot of people on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram that I have little crushes on. For sure. Just like imagine a funny guy who's not a misogynist and either has so much hair it's unbelievable or is balding. I like him. Maybe, I don't know. I guess I don't really have celebrity crushes like that anymore. There's definitely a lot of people that I can acknowledge are attractive. You know, I could just fucking list off people that are super hot and have hot energy, but there's nothing like that preteen, teenage celebrity crush fire inside of you. Like I kind of wish that I had that feeling again sometimes. It was kind of fun. It was just like a horniness that penetrates through your skin. Like I can't explain it. I haven't felt it since. Do you actually enjoy fingering yourself? Because I swear I can't feel anything. I love this question. I use vibrators pretty much 100% of the time now. I used to be old fashioned. I used to do it manual. But even when I was doing it manual, I was really just cranking it on my clit. I've always been like rarely a full fingering type of gal. Do I like fingering with a partner? For sure I do. Because I feel like the angle is better. You can get a better angle when your arm is not attached to your own body. Fingering myself, I feel like I do not for the pleasure of fingering yourself, but how hot it is to touch yourself with your hand. Like it's just hot to touch yourself, to feel yourself, to be sexual and gentle with yourself. Not necessarily like because fingering feels so incredible. Like a vibrator is always gonna feel better, and at the end of the day, like your fingers are kind of small, or mine are at least. Do you remember your dreams? Do you read into what they might mean? Yeah, I remember a lot of my dreams, and I wish I fucking didn't because I don't understand what any of them mean. I have nightmares a lot, always about things that maybe I'm subconsciously scared about in my mind. I don't even want to say them out loud because they kind of freak me the fuck out, and I'm worried if I say it out loud I'll dream about it tonight. But for example, since I have adopted Mango, I have nightmares frequently where I have to save her from something. So that's a panic that exists in my brain somewhere. Sometimes my dreams are like that, where it's some like doomsday scenario where the worst thing in the world is happening to me and I have to somehow get out of it. Or there are things that make no sense. Like last week, for example, I was on my period and I had a dream that every time that I'm on my period, tubes grow out from the bottom of my legs that connect me to the sewage system underground, and I become the city's water supply for a week. I don't know. And I don't want to read into it, okay? I don't want to read into why there exists a universe inside my brain where a woman's period blood sustains a city. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't want to know. But it's usually things like that. It's either the worst possible situation imaginable or it's some shit that makes no fucking sense. How did you learn to love and appreciate your stomach? This is one of those questions that I wish I could give people an easy answer. I wish that I could look at you and be like, here's the formula of how I got comfortable with my stomach. Unfortunately, there is no formula. If you want my honest answer, I really think that the main way that I got comfortable with my stomach was seeing other women be comfortable with their stomachs. I feel like following plus size creators who look like me on Instagram and YouTube, seeing them wear clothes that I would want to wear tight dresses and not second guess it, like seeing other creators love themselves unapologetically had a massive impact on me. And that's a massive reason why I started making body content. The first like body image video that I saw was my junior year of high school. And it was on Upworthy on Facebook when that was big. And it was like 4 plus size women on a beach talking about wearing bikinis. And it was the first time I had ever seen plus size bodies in bikinis on social media. And then I started writing poetry about my relationship with my body. And then that same year I turned my poetry into a video. It's called You Are Not Your Body. It's still on my channel. And that was like the first piece of body image content that I ever made. Now, I was not comfortable in my body whatsoever, and my body looked a lot different then as a young teenager than it does now. And I feel like I've had to constantly learn and relearn how to love my body as it has changed throughout my life. But I think that it so helped me that I got into the like body positivity plus size community at a pretty crucial age, because I started to consume a lot of content about body image, and then I used my hobby, my creativity, making videos, as a way to challenge my own body image, to talk about it, to push myself to take photos and outfits that I might have been afraid to wear before. You know, I think I make a lot of content about body image, and I have for my entire time on the internet. But the thing is that I haven't felt comfortable in my body the entire time I've been on the internet. So much of the content that I have created is me actively challenging myself to strengthen my relationship with my body, to wear things that I'm scared to wear, to push myself out of my comfort zone. I use my YouTube channel, my Instagram, all of this stuff as a way to push myself. So like, I might talk about body image and feeling confident all the time, but like, you're watching me in real time push myself to do this shit, because I know how much it helped me seeing other people do it. And I don't discount the impact of myself doing it and learning in real time on camera as well. I think it's so helpful to see that in other people, and also to be that for yourself. So how did I get comfortable with my stomach and start feeling confident with it? I think just through observation, through watching other women do it, and through pushing myself to do the same. I think it's good to surround yourself with people who look like you, who make content that makes you feel good about yourself and your body. And then I think it's good to push yourself out of your comfort zone when you can. More importantly than that, though, is speak to yourself as if you are speaking to the child version of yourself. I think of my younger self fucking constantly. I am always striving to be someone that she could have looked up to be someone that if my younger self knew me now, maybe she wouldn't have had to struggle with her body when she was 8, 9, 10 years old. Maybe if my younger self knew me, that she wouldn't have felt the way that she did. It's fucking scary, but over time it gets easier. So I think it has a lot to do with your environment, whether that's in your real life or virtually, and then just practice. I went on a very nice date, but he hasn't texted me at all. Why? There's no clean-cut answer I can give you for why this person didn't reach out to you after a date went seemingly really well. I wish there was. This is something that anyone who has dated actively has been through at some point. You go on one date, you go on a few dates, everything is going great until all of a sudden they've disappeared. It's confusing because you feel like this went so well. What happened? You immediately turn it on yourself. You're looking inwards. You're like, what could I have done differently? Is this my fault? Because you don't have enough information, right? So all you can do is turn inwards and look at yourself. When we don't have all of the information, our gut instinct is always going to be to look at ourselves with a critical eye, even if we didn't necessarily do anything wrong. The date was great. We were awesome. Sometimes, and I have a hard time accepting this too, sometimes it has absolutely nothing to do with you. And I hate that, because in my head, I want to be like, well, they could have just texted me and told me that they fucking hated me. But it's like, sometimes that is not the answer. Sometimes it has nothing to do with you. Maybe you went on this great first date and they got home and they realized, holy fuck, I am not as emotionally available as I thought I was. Maybe their communication skills are not up to par, so instead of saying, hey, this is what's going on, they just don't say anything at all. I mean, it can be a number of things, right? We could sit here and make up fake scenarios all night long. But when this has happened to me, I have tried really hard to just be gentle with myself and to lean back on the fact that like this was a painful way to figure out that they weren't right for me. But at the end of the day, they weren't right for me. Like, I'm not missing out on anything by this not moving forward. It's uncomfortable and upsetting to not hear from someone after a date that you feel like went really well, or a series of dates that you felt like went really well. But if they're not going to communicate that something went terribly wrong to you, then it's safe to assume it had nothing to do with you. Don't create information that doesn't exist. You don't know why they're not texting you, so you don't have to take the blame for why this isn't working out. Probably not that serious. It probably has nothing to do with you. Yes, it is uncomfortable and upsetting when things don't line up with our expectations, when you feel like something went so well and you're expecting it to continue going well and then it doesn't. That sucks, and that's okay to feel upset over and disappointed, but don't blame yourself or waste too much time racking your brain on what happened and what you did wrong, because odds are you did nothing wrong and it has nothing to do with you. And I get that your brain wants to fill in the blanks of all that you don't know with reasons for why they did what they did and what you could have done to change it. But remember, those are blanks. You don't have the information to fill in those gaps, and it is unfair to yourself to like take the blame for why they're not reaching out to you and why they don't want to go out again and try to fix a problem that you're convincing yourself in your head is you, when it might not be you. All right, last question I'm gonna do is just asking for a Hinge profile update. I change this shit every fucking 4 days. This is what we've got right now. What if I told you that I was voted most likely to be a reality TV star in high school? Apparently I radiate D-list celeb energy. That's a true fact. That was my senior superlative in high school, was most likely to be a reality TV star. Granted that we didn't have most likely to be famous, so that was our equivalent of most likely to be famous. I want someone who is emotionally available. I geek out on YouTube and all things video, good poetry, a therapy session that just hits, the H3 podcast, and early 2000s pop culture. And then I've got some close-ups, some full bodies, a TikTok that I made about how people I date have to be approved by Mango. And yeah, that's it. That's the vibe right now. I'm pretty happy with it at the moment. God, I've been recording this video for literally like an hour and a half at this point. I don't understand what I talk about, to be honest, because I cut these videos down to like 20, 30 minutes. And it's like, what did I talk about for the extra hour that I'm going to cut out of this video? God damn. Thank you guys so much for submitting questions. If you want to be included in my next Q&A type video that I do, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Maddie Dragsbaek. That is really where I ask you guys questions and stuff. I mean, maybe I should be making posts on my community tab, I guess. I don't think I've literally ever made a community tab post on YouTube, so maybe I should start doing that now that I'm saying this out loud. So that's it. That's where I'm going to end this. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.